May the 23rd, 2019. Guys, an article today you're looking at from Zero Hedge says DARPA wants to create mind control weapons of war. We talked about this for 3 or 4 years, and we were dealing with 3G and 4G. And the first thing that came into my mind, and I think I've mentioned it in most of the 5G videos we've done, is that it is an ultimate control weapon for DARPA. You've seen the DARPA robotic tanks, small ones, and you've seen the DARPA dogs. And guys, they've talked about human interface with this artificial intelligence. And the way they've approached it in the past was with a neurological transplant for an interface. But now they're going to the next step, and I think that 5G is all about this. And that has a couple of factors involved. But it says that last year the U.S. Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, DARPA, announced that it was seeking non-invasive ways to achieve high levels of brain system communications without surgery. Now it says the techniques would allow precise, high-quality connections to specific neurons or group of neurons. Now guys, the bad thing about this interface is that, say, someone in the military, for instance, puts on a helmet and it's all Wi-Fi through there and they're communicating through there, non-invasive, right? But this allows DARPA to download to you or to whoever it is. In other words, it's not just you controlling it, it's a download upload deal. Now this is the problem and the great danger with 5G. And let me say this, I think it was yesterday possibly Trump put more sanctions on China, and Huawei, the largest telecommunication company in the world. They were the leaders in 5G technology, not just here, but in Europe also. And what this was going to be allowed to do, because China's law, I think it's a year or two old now, that says that all Chinese companies are controlled by the government and military. In other words, all their technology, everything they do, basically is a government-run organization. So same thing here. The CIA changed a few things on their control, like Facebook and Twitter and things like that. You know exactly what I'm talking about. But guys, now with we got kind of a chess game going here. Trump's initiative against China being unfair in the trade practices, blocking Huawei, and Huawei what would happen once they put all their towers up around every block in the nation, here and in Europe, they would control all the information. In other words, this would all go back to the Chinese company in China, and the U.S. companies controlled by China. They would have complete information control of everyone. They would have, you couldn't have a patent. You couldn't have a military secret. None of that would exist. Not only that, the ability to download. And if you don't think China would do that, and if you don't think the Democrats that love China were getting ready to do it here, guys, you're wrong. Let's read some more of this. It says the agency wants to create mind control weapons of war, as it vaguely explained in 2 recent press releases. To achieve this goal, DARPA recently formed a program called Next Generation Non-Surgical Neurotechnology, or N3. Remember that. You're going to start hearing about N3 along with with 5G more and more. It says DARPA wants the soldiers to be able to control the machines with their minds. And guys, that's 50%. The other 50% of that truth is that DARPA wants to control the soldier's mind. And according to a press release published on May the 20th, 2019, guys, 3 days ago, the agency has awarded funding to 6 companies to support N3. Remember, non-surgical neurotechnology. Guys, this is going to be a major problem, and it's a major deal. It says Bartell Memorial Institute, Carnegie Mellon University, Johns Hopkins University Applied Physics Laboratory, Palo Alto Research Center, Rice University, and Teledyne Scientific are leading multidisciplinary teams to develop high-resolution, bidirectional brain-machine interfaces for use by able-bodied service members. Guys, when these 5G antennas go up throughout the neighborhoods, this is going to be a lot more about downloading to us and control than just the soldiers. Now, also this downloadable interface, guys, remember the Darpa dogs and the Darpa robotic weapons of war? These towers have to be everywhere to have complete control over that. At the same time they're controlling these Darpa weapons, they can put a frequency out, guys, that would, if I'm not mistaken, just about paralyze you. In other words, you can't do a whole lot when you hear that frequency hit you. It says these wearable interfaces could ultimately enable diverse national security applications such as control of active cyber defense systems and swarms of unmanned aerial vehicles, or teaming with computer systems to multitask during complex missions. Guys, the truth is in the last section, or teaming with computer systems. AI, guys. AI will control. It will be some upload from the very highest in the military, but it will be AI controlled. AI will control the frequency and the power of the 5G antennas. When the 4-year program was announced last year in a press release, DARPA began by mentioning all of the positive things that brain-machine interfaces are being used for. Over the past 2 decades, again DARPA, the international biomedical research community has demonstrated increasingly sophisticated ways to allow a person's brain to communicate with a device, allowing breakthroughs aimed at improving quality of life, such as access to computers and the internet. Guys, we already have that, I think, without being completely saturated with 5G radiation. And more recently, control of prosthetic limb. DARPA has been at the forefront of this research. The state-of-the-art in brain system communications has employed invasive techniques that allow precise, listen, high-quality connections to specific neurons or groups of neurons. These techniques have helped patients with brain injury and other illnesses. Guys, that technology was developed and used on people with brain illnesses, but it was to develop complete control. When they can control the neurons in your brain, they can control the world, as LBJ said about the weather. Now, remember, they're pushing this to be in effect in the next few years. It says sounds noble enough until you get to the next line. However, these techniques are not appropriate for able-bodied people. DARPA now seeks to achieve high levels of brain system communications without surgery in its new N3 program. It says if you don't find that chilling, keep reading. DARPA created N3 to pursue a path to a safe, portable neural interface system, guys. Complete control. Now, when Satan attempts to take complete control of your mind, our Father in heaven is going to have major problems with that. 5G will use a lot of energy. It will consume a lot of energy to produce the high frequencies in multiple millions of locations. And what is the answer that God says when that angel pours out the vial upon the sun and the beast kingdom goes into darkness? Without that power, guys, they will go down. That, to me, has always made perfect sense because, again, going into the beast kingdom in darkness makes sense because this is beast kingdom technology. It says Darpa created N3 to pursue, again, a path for a safe, portable neural interface system capable of reading, here, are you listening, and writing to multiple points in the brains at once. Complete control. They can tell you to kill yourself, kill your family, kill everybody, turn everyone in, or march in step, or they can fry your brain. This comes from Dr. Al Monday, Program Manager in DARPA's Biological Technologies Office. High-resolution non-surgical neurotechnology has been elusive, but thanks to recent advances in biomedical engineering, neuroscience, synthetic biology, and nanotechnology, we now believe the goal is attainable. A few of those things, guys, are scary if you understand nanotechnology and what can be done with that synthetic biology. But just what they're going to do first, you're going to see these 5G antennas up on every corner. And they're going to be ready to pull that switch at any time. They're going to control everything. And you know who was designed to control it? The dragon, China, for their world domination. Now again, yesterday Trump, and let me back up. Remember Trump's speech a month or so ago? He said 5G is good, whatever, bring on 6G. And, you know, it kind of shocked a lot of us that are aware of 5G technology. But at the same time, Trump can't be on top of everything, and he may have known that with his blocking of China's Huawei, who was going to control the world, that it may be a major point or major blockage to their fast advance of this technology. And it's going to cost a lot of people billions of dollars that had set up the supply lines, the chain of events and everything to put this in place. But sometimes you got to bite the bullet, guys, on that. But listen, we're watching it. You watch it. Be prepared. These people are demonic, insane, possessed people. They're going to try to use fallen angel technology against us. But remember, no weapon against the children of God will make it. Think about that kingdom of darkness, or the beast kingdom being cast into darkness. So be prepared for that in all ways. It's a heads up. Be safe.
That if thou shalt confess with thy mouth the Lord Jesus, and shalt believe in thine heart that God hath raised him from the dead, thou shalt be saved. For whosoever shall call upon the name of the Lord shall be saved. For whosoever shall call upon the name of the Lord shall be saved.